Yo, what is up, guys? We are back with a new series, and this series is pretty much what if Naruto had hockey. Now, I know, it's actually my second video I'll be editing. I know the what if Naruto was Okura's reincarnation. That one was a banger. Apparently, you guys liked it a lot since it got a lot of views in the first day of just me uploading it. So, basically, I'll be doing more of that. So, pretty much, before the story starts, if you guys like my what ifs in general, definitely punch that like button, as Rogex says, and definitely subscribe and hit the bell notification if you'd like to see more content or more parts from a series. But without further ado, guys, let's get straight into this what if. Now, actually, before I start this what if, I'm gonna be bringing in one character from One Piece. Now, in my opinion, I really like this character to be in this what if, and this character will be Rayleigh. Now, he won't be incorporated for long, but he'll only be in the backstory before Naruto even starts. And I started to do like Rogex does. I started to make the characters around 16 years old, since it's like I said in my what if Naruto is Okura's reincarnation. I'm not trying to have a 12-year-old Naruto do like domain expansion. It's better for them to be older. So pretty much we'll actually start this what if. Now, we start this what if when baby Naruto is born. Now, the whole Nine Tails attack with basically Olis and force it into a summoning pact, which he would do successfully. Now, pretty much after this would happen, Minato would save Naruto just like in canon by taking off the explosive tag off his blanket and pretty much using the flying Raijin to head towards the Namikaze compound. Now, pretty much once Minato would get there, he would pretty much talk Naruto in before putting on his Hokage's cloak and getting serious. Now, he would have Virtual Kushina and pretty much do the same thing he did to Naruto. He would save her and take her back to the Namikaze compound. Now, after this would happen, Minato would head towards the mountain before pretty much being on top of that mountain. Now, in this timeline, when Minato is slamming the Rasengan into Obito's back, he would have slammed the Rasengan with Armin and Haki, since in this timeline, only Minato would have learned this Armin and Haki, and this Rayleigh person would have been the reason why. So, I'll get into that later on into this video. Now, pretty much after Obito would get severely injured, pretty much the whole Minato and Kushina saving Naruto would happen, and they would die. And Naruto would kind of get the Nine Tails. It's technically, it would look like he got the Nine Tails, but some phenomenon would happen where basically the Nine Tails won't actually be in Naruto at all, since I don't really want Naruto to have the Nine Tails. So pretty much the Nine Tails will just be in an empty void for the rest of his life, unfortunately. Pretty much, I'm gonna have it where the Nine Tails would slowly go back to his other half, which would be inside Minato, and Minato's inside the Shinigami. So yeah, that's what's gonna happen. So no Nine Tails for Naruto. So pretty much after this would happen, Naruto would grow up to around 6 years old, where he basically saves Hinata, just like in canon. But when he's literally punching, one of the people, he would have unlocked his Armin and Haki. Now, if you guys are wondering, it's a little too early to unlock Armin and Haki, since Luffy had a lot of spirit and he didn't unlock Armin and Haki. Well, the difference between Luffy and Naruto is Naruto has a lot of plot armor, for me, of course, but just kidding. But he would have used the Armin and Haki to basically win, get an upper hand in that fight and win. So basically, after that would happen, Naruto would have definitely grown up fighting a lot of villagers. He would have squared up a lot. He'd be like, run me them hands. But basically, he would have fought the villagers a lot, and this would result to him getting stronger and stronger, and basically using his Armin and Haki a lot. Now, pretty much, when Naruto was around 10 years old, he would have been kind of like ambushed by a bunch of Chunin ninja and low Jonin ninja. Now, pretty much, he would get a little, he'd get folded, alright? There's no lying about this one. He's done. So, pretty much, once he's literally about to get, kind of like fodderized or killed, pretty much this one person, like this whole huge wave of just pressure would come over the ninja. Now this would actually be Conqueror's Haki, and they would pretty much fall down to the floor and get knocked out. Now this person who saved them was actually, Rayleigh. I don't know if Rayleigh even has Conqueror's Haki, but if he doesn't, I know he does, so I read the manga. But basically, Rayleigh would do this, and he'd pretty much pick up Naruto, and they would kind of like, pretty much Rayleigh would promise Naruto that he would make him stronger, and something like that. Now pretty much this would actually start a 6-year time skip to when Naruto's 10 to Naruto's 6, to when Naruto is 16. So over this time skip, Naruto has been fighting Rayleigh when he's blindfolded so he can get his observation Haki, and then he's been also trying to get his Conqueror's Haki, but in the whole time it's only been unconscious. So he hasn't really been, he hasn't used Conqueror's Haki much. So pretty much in this time skip, Naruto would have definitely learned how to use a sword. Now, if you guys are wondering which sword do I give him, I'm giving him, I think I'm giving him Shisui, the sword. I think that's what it's called if I'm wrong, but it's one of Zoro's swords that he got in Wano arc. The one with like the flower petal handle, or not the handle, but like the sheath. Like between the sheath and the handle, or like right on the handle, it has like a flower petal pretty much. So if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong, but basically he has that sword. Now pretty much over this time, he would have trained and trained with this sword until he's like he's pretty good with it. He can do like kind of like pseudo versions of the 1080 pound, 1080, 720 pound, and he seems pretty good with it. But like I said, he only has Haki. He doesn't have like a devil fruit, so he won't be as strong as the other swordsmen in One Piece, but he's definitely up there, even though some of the swordsmen don't even have devil fruits, but we're not going to talk about that. So basically, after Naruto would go on his training time skip with Rayleigh, like when after the time skip, he would be walking back to the village. Rayleigh would just drop them off by the entrance, and Naruto would have like walked in. Now Rayleigh would have told the Hokage that basically he took Naruto on this training time skip. Now if you guys are wondering who is Rayleigh replacing, it is gonna be our boy Jiraiya. Honestly, Rayleigh is kind of like a better version of Jiraiya, so yeah, that's the person he'll be replacing. And basically Rayleigh would have been teaching Minato and stuff like that. So pretty much Naruto would walk back into the village with the good old time skipped clothing that some characters would wear. So he'd be walking back in, and pretty much he would head towards the Hokage's tower, where the Hokage would basically tell him that the academy graduation exams is coming soon and you could become a ninja. And then he would pretty much hand over the keys to like a home, pretty much. It won't be too big, but it won't be too small. It's gonna be like a mediocre house. So pretty much Naruto would take the keys and he would head towards this house pretty much. Now once he would pretty much head to the house or this area, he would then walk in and pretty much unpack his stuff and would pretty much sleep for the rest of the evening, or he would just chill, whatever he can do, since he is pretty tired from the trip. Now the next morning he would wake up and he'd pretty much get up, and you remember the Hokage would tell him that the academy graduations are happening today, so he'd pretty much head towards the academy. Now he's not Zoro, so he won't get lost anytime soon, so he'd manage to get there on time. So once he would walk in, he'd pretty much everyone would be surprised by this person who just randomly walked in, and a lot of people would kind of storm him and ask him a lot of questions, and Naruto would manage to answer them, basically saying that he actually was born in this village, he just was on a long training trip. And pretty much everyone would be quite surprised by this entrance of Naruto. So pretty much after this would happen, Naruto would pretty much get situated in the academy, and the whole once Iruka and Mizuki came in, the whole graduation exams would start. Now pretty much all they were asking is they had like a writing portion, and then they had the clone portion, and then they had the fighting portion. So pretty much Naruto would be able to use some chakra in this, but it'll only be to make the clone here. So other than that, Naruto would not be actually making clones or using chakra from here on out. Now, pretty much after this would happen, the whole test would begin, the test portion, and pretty much Mizuki would hand out all the tests. Now, pretty much Naruto would completely ace the test, since over this time skip he wasn't just learning how to use Haki, he was learning how to use that big brain. Now, pretty much Naruto would pass this test, and he would hand in the test and pretty much get a high score, rivaling even Minato Namikaze and Itachi Uchiha's time for to complete their test. Now, pretty much after this would happen, Naruto would be asked, and the other classmates would also be asked to basically make their version of their clone. So basically, after they would be asked to do this, Naruto would use the littlest chakra he has to make the shadow clone. So once he has made the shadow clone, he would pass that portion, and pretty much they would start the sparring portion to see who is the prodigy of the academy, of the Konoha 12. Now, pretty much they would start the sparring with, the only reason I did this is to get a Naruto versus Sasuke. Now, pretty much the Naruto versus Sasuke would start, and Sasuke would try to use, try to be level-headed, use his Uchiha style taijutsu, and pretty much that would be just it. He would rush towards Naruto and pretty much use try to use the Lion's Barrage on Naruto's chest area, or kind of like kick him in the chest. And Naruto would pretty much use Armament Haki on his chest area to basically block that. So when Sasuke kicked that, he felt something abnormally. He felt Naruto's chest kind of felt like steel, which it would be just that. So pretty much after this would happen, Sasuke's leg would hurt a little bit from literally kicking something. You could only break Haki if you have Haki. So if you have no Haki, you're definitely gonna feel that. All right. So pretty much after this would happen, Sasuke would try to use a fire style fireball jutsu, but Naruto, wanting to show off his power, would just use the observation Haki to kind of see into the future by maybe half a second before he would appear behind Sasuke and pretty much punch him in the back of the head, pretty much knocking him out. Now, after Naruto would knock Sasuke out, everyone would be quite surprised. Sasuke Uchiha, the prodigy, got defeated by this new guy in not even maybe 30 seconds. Everyone was quite surprised by Sasuke's downfall. So pretty much Naruto would be declared a winner, and people would actually start cheering. I mean, this is the first time someone had actually beat Sasuke. So, Naruto would be the prodigy of the Konoha 12, and Naruto would pass the graduation exams. So once Naruto would pass the graduation exams, he would head back home and pretty much get ready for the next day of being a ninja, or the first day of being a ninja. So pretty much Naruto would get home, he would eat dinner, and he would chill for the rest of the night. Now, the next morning Naruto would get up and put on his usual outfit, which I don't really know his outfit. I guess you can just have, maybe Shippuden's outfit, since he is 16. He is old enough to wear that outfit. So pretty much after this would happen, Naruto would actually head towards the academy after waking up and stuff like that. And once he would walk in, he would sit down, and pretty much Iruka would walk in after a few minutes, and pretty much Naruto would sit next to Sasuke. But nobody Sakura Ino would tell Naruto to get out the seat. So pretty much after this would happen, Iruka would walk in and pretty much start to explain to them about the teams. So the first team would be Team 7, Kakashi Hatsuki, Naruto Uzumaki, Sasuke Uchiha, and Sakura Haruno. Now, after those teams were called out, the next team would be Team 8. Now, this would be Kurenai Yuhei. I think I said that right, but it'd be Kurenai, Hinata Hyuga, Shino Aburame, and Kiba Unozuka. Now, pretty much the next team next and final team would be Team 10. It would be the sensei would be Saruto. Jesus, what am I saying? Asuma Sarutobi. I almost said Saruto the Drunk Kage, but their sensei would be Asuma Sarutobi. Their 3 students or teammates would be Shikamaru Nahara, Choji Akamichi, and Ino Yamanaka. Now, after all the teams are assembled, some people would have their usual reactions, with Shikamaru saying this is drag and Sakura just being Sakura. Now, after this would happen, Kurenai and Asuma would come in and quickly collect their teams, but Team 7 would have to wait there for 4 hours until Kakashi would come. So it would be in the morning when pretty much Kakashi called them, and now it was pretty much the noon and afternoon. So pretty much when Kakashi would walk in, no eraser would actually fall on his head, since Naruto isn't a prankster in this time skip. He's not attention seeking. So pretty much after this would happen, Kakashi would say you guys are boring before he'd tell them to meet him on the roof. Now once this would happen, Team 7 would head upstairs, and Naruto would just use the body flicker to head upstairs, or any teleportation technique he learned from Rayleigh. Just moving so fast with observation haki, he would have made it upstairs. Now once he'd done this, he'd pretty much wait for Sasuke and Sakura to get up there, and they would both sit on the stairs just like Naruto did. Now Kakashi would ask them to explain their goals, likes, dislikes, and their names, or the names, likes, dislikes, and goals. Now Sakura would just mumble. She wouldn't really say much of a goal, since most of it was just fangirls, something like that. Not much of a constructive goal. Now the next one would be Sasuke. He'd pretty much go on about how he wants to kill Itachi, since Itachi killed his own clan and his parents and stuff like that, and he wants some revenge, which seems like an okay side character goal. But after that introduction, the next introduction would be Naruto. Naruto would pretty much say that his name is Naruto Uzumaki. His likes are training. His dislikes is waiting 3 minutes for ramen, and waiting, basically cowards and stuff like that. Any type of despicable people in the world. And his goal was to become the strongest in the world, since that's pretty much an easy goal for a what if. Now, after the introductions are finished, pretty much Team 7 would head back to their expected homes after Kakashi would tell them that they're actually doing a test and that they are not really out of the gate to be beginning yet. So pretty much he'd tell them to meet him around 6 a.m. tomorrow at training around 7, and he says if he senses that anyone aids, he would actually make them throw up. So yeah, everyone knew not to eat. So pretty much the next day, Naruto, after sleeping quite good night, he would wake up around 5:30 a.m. to actually eat, since bro, he's like Luffy at this point. He's nobody stopping him. Now pretty much he would eat his breakfast, and he would bring 2 bentos for his teammates. Now once he would get there, pretty much he would give the bentos to Sakura and Sasuke, and pretty much when Sakura would ask why, since Kakashi said we can't eat, Naruto would he just suggested that we don't eat, and it's pretty much like a psychological test to get us at our weakest. So we should always be at our strongest. So pretty much I said pretty much twice, I am a pathetic person. Nah, just kidding. But basically, they would start to eat their bentos after getting convinced by Naruto. Now, after this would happen, maybe like 2 hours later, Kakashi would come into the view of the open field, and he'd pretty much see that they ate. Now, he'd ask, why'd you guys eat? Now, pretty much Naruto would kind of like debunk Kakashi, saying that the whole don't eat was actually a psychological test, so you can actually get us at our weakest, and you try to play it off and try to disguise it as a determination test when it was really a psychological test, so you can see if we actually can figure it out. Now pretty much Kakashi would actually be quite surprised that anyone could actually figure this out, since nobody in the whole time he actually tested anyone actually ever figured it out. So pretty much he would start to explain the rules after congratulating Naruto's intelligence. He'd start to explain the rules, basically saying that he has 2 bells, and whoever get these bells will pass. But Sasuke would point out that there's only 2 bells and there's 3 of us, so how does that work? And pretty much Kakashi would say that only 2 of you will be passing, and 1 of you will go back to the academy to learn better. Now pretty much once this would happen, it would be more like a showdown between each other and Kakashi, which only Sakura would actually be thinking that. But pretty much after the rules were explained, and Kakashi would say start, this would actually be the end of part 1 of What If Naruto Had Haki. Now I know I started a series on What If Deku Had Haki, so I wanted to do one on What If Naruto Had Haki. I'll finish those 2 series and it'll be quite the banger. You know, do you guys like Naruto or do you guys like My Hero? But without further ado, guys, I think that'll be it. Definitely check out the group channel, which will be in the description below, and check out Rogex's take on What If Naruto Had Haki. He did a longer part to me, and he literally put his heart and soul into that script, so give my boy a chance and pretty much check it out. Maybe you guys already checked it out, since most of my analytics, you guys are viewers of Rogex, so you definitely saw this. But just in case, I'll link the video in the description. But without further ado, guys,